good afternoon, everyone. So first of all, I'd like to thank you all for joining today's webinar. Today, we're going to talk about unlocking the full potential of IBM Cloud. You're going to hear from expert speakers around distributor cloud, the hybrid cloud, and some of the innovative technologies from IBM. So today, we're going to talk about the IBM's Power Virtual Server on Cloud. Very interesting topic. It's one of the options you could look into. My favorite topic is IBM Cloud Satellite. Very interesting, very innovative, very niche. Then we're also going to talk about infrastructure as a service through IBM Cloud using the VMware solutions. That is also unique solutions coming from IBM with an alliance with VMware. Last but not least, we have the Cloud Experts Labs. These are nothing but services engagement from IBM that if you are looking for expert advice from IBM in terms of architecting your cloud, your workload, and how you can really, push your on-premise workload to cloud. So, with that quick agenda, quick introduction, I'd like to leave the floor to Ahmed Sibai. Ahmed, over to you.
Thank you a lot, Nazir, and thank you all for joining this webinar. It is my pleasure to be presenting today. So, as you can see from the agenda, we're going to cover multiple topics on IBM Cloud. We're going to talk about 4 very interesting use cases from, on IBM Cloud. Before we go into the first use case, I'm going to just give overall a briefing about what is IBM Cloud. And of course, in IBM Cloud, we have, more than 200 plus services. But today we're going to focus on 4 use cases because these 4 use cases, we believe they are relevant to you and they are relevant specifically to the Saudi market. Now, when we talk about IBM Cloud, and this goes across all the offerings that we're going to talk about or all the IBM catalog services on IBM Cloud, I'm going to talk about 3 pillars that differentiate IBM Cloud from all other cloud providers. The first one is, open innovation and the support for open source. Like IBM is a major contributor to cloud native open source work like Istio, Kubernetes, and all of these things. So what we are doing in IBM, we are encouraging open source. We have on our IBM Cloud, Kubernetes and OpenShift platform where you can deploy and run any technology on top of it. So we are a platform that is, encouraging the open source. And this is a big advantage because many of the customers, they don't want to have a vendor lock-in anymore. So what we're providing is a platform for the customers to go open source and, So the other aspect that I'm going to talk about is security. So IBM is very well known to be, a very strong player in security, and this applies to on-prem. We have very high compliance, data encryption, threat management, and all of this. And we have brought all of these capabilities to our cloud. So all the security capabilities that we provide customers on-prem, we are also providing them to cloud, and this is a huge differentiator for IBM. Last but not least is IBM Cloud is enterprise grade. We focus on enterprise. We focus on large implementations or even medium implementations, but it is enterprise grade, IBM. So, we are the largest VMware cloud in the world. We have more than 2,000 clients using VMware on IBM Cloud. And this is, again, what we're providing in IBM is not just IBM technology. We're providing third-party technology and open source technology. We're also providing, and this is something that we're going to talk about in a moment, Power, whether AIX, AS400, and this is known to be a very enterprise-grade technology that the banks and the retailers and other customers are using. So with that, I will move on to the first offering and the first use case that we're going to talk about, which is the IBM Power Virtual Server. So when we talk about Power, I'm sure that most of you knows about Power. Power is being used historically in Saudi Arabia and in the region, for many use cases. Clients are using it to host, heavy duty systems, core banking applications, ERP like SAP or Oracle ERPs, or many of the clients are using IBM I or what we used to call AS400 on them. and this is all running, heavy duty systems. So what we have noticed is that the customers who rely on power system on-prem, they are working and they are thinking of aligning this with their cloud strategy. So in other words, they want, to flexibly, to consume, the power, flexibly in a cloud fashion, meaning, they have the cloud power on-prem, but what they want to is to consume it and to pay as they grow, and they, as like in a pay-as-you-go model. And this is something that we're providing in Power Virtual Servers. So we have the same on-prem Power servers. We have them on cloud. You can run IBM AIX, you can run you can run SAP, Oracle, and believe me, you will get a lot better, ROI when you run these applications on Power, because you might, consider or see, Power as expensive initially, but when you do the TCO analysis, you will consider, because Power is very powerful, then you will save a lot more, and your ROI will be a lot more when using Power VS on IBM Cloud. So again, going into more details, this is kind of a high-level architecture of Power infrastructure as a service that we provide. We can run SAP, we can run Oracle, System I, DB2 database, and many others. Like we have IBM Cloud Pak stack, and by Cloud Pak, I mean we have the API management stack, which called IBM Cloud Pak for integration. We have the IBM Cloud Pak for business automation, for the workflows and rule engine. This all can run on Power Virtual Server. And also Power Virtual Server does not only support IBM I and AS400 and AIX, it also supports Linux. So you can run Red Hat Linux on top of it, and also you can run OpenShift container platform on it. So this will be the platform of choice for you to run the non-containerized workload like SAP and others, and Oracle ERP and so on. But at the same time, you can have a single and consolidated platform to run also your container-based platform. When it comes to Power on Cloud, we have, the Power Virtual Server is available in 18 data centers across the world. We have, 500 plus customers working on it. We're running multiple workloads. I'm not gonna read them all. Healthcare is working with us on AIX and IBM I, Oracle ERP, and many other workloads. And the most important thing here, and this is something I'm sure that you're facing every day is compliance. Like you want to be compliant. Whether you are in a banking sector or you are in a retail sector, each sector has its own compliance. So what we provide also on IBM Cloud through Power is a full compliance with all the international and standard regulations. And this is really a big thing, because we see in many other implementations, customers are struggling to comply. They bring companies to do the assessment and everything. We have infrastructure and operating systems already compliant by default with IBM Power Virtual Server. Okay, so if we look at the use cases for Power, one use case is data center strategy optimization, meaning you might have, Power on-prem, and you want to align more with your cloud strategy to go more with a pay-as-you-go model. Regardless whether you have Oracle, ERP, SAP, an independent software vendor, any other software that runs on Power, we can modernize this and move it to cloud. The other use case is business continuity planning, and this is definitely very important. You might say, look, I want to keep my ERP now on-prem, but I want the DR to be on cloud. This is also something that we provide with full replication and everything. And we as IBM have worked with Resemble as the partner to implement several similar use cases where we have implemented a DR solution for customers with all their replication and everything. Then, modernizing. Sometimes it's not, when you move to cloud, it's not only about lift and shift, but also it is about modernizing and optimizing. And when you say optimizing, you move from a CapEx model to an OpEx model. You pay as you grow and you pay as you go. And also you will be able to do a lot of optimization to your workload. Sometimes you have a big machine, you're using only 50% of it. So on cloud, you don't have to do this. You go and provision the exact sizing that you need, and then you can grow based on the capacity and the demand you have. Again, so there are other cloud providers, very few that provides this service. However, at the end, Power is an IBM product, and what we provide from performance perspective is way superior to any other offering in the market. And also, in the market, there are a lot of limitation when it comes to the size of the virtual machine and many other limitations. So with IBM, definitely it is the best Power offering. And, when it comes to prices also, it is the, most efficient price compared to any other, cloud providers. I'm not going to go over the entire thing, but again, modernization, high availability, business continuity are all things that you can get with IBM Power VS. With that, that's the end of the Power VS section. So the second offering from IBM that I'm going to talk about is IBM Cloud Satellite. As Nazir said, this is a very favorite topic for Nazir and myself, because here we're talking about application modernization, and we're talking about cloud native capabilities. Now, if we all realize the value of cloud, flexibility, pay as you go model, automation, and all of these things. Now, one of the challenges we face when we talk about cloud is, obviously, you face it, all of you, is data residency. So when you go, and talk about, let's say, container-based platform, microservices, it's nice to go to any cloud provider, provision this on the spot, and start, consuming and working, and let your team focus on the application aspect rather than them focusing on the platform and infrastructure layers where they need to do upgrades, updates. So they're, your employees or your customers, they don't want to do this. They want to go and focus only on their application. Now, cloud provide all of this. That's excellent. However, for regulated customers, for industries that require data residency, this is a challenge. So I go to a customer and they tell me, look, I want all this flexibility. This is very nice, but I want it on-prem because I cannot host it on a cloud provider in Frankfurt or London or outside. So with Cloud Satellite, what we're doing, we're stretching the public cloud capabilities to on-prem. So we're providing you as customers and partners, we're providing you, cloud native capabilities, container-based platform, database as a service. We're providing the as a service model on-prem. And this is a huge advantage because you're getting all the flexibility you want. You're going to get the pay-as-you-go model you want while it is on-prem. Now, if we go more into details about this, so, IBM Cloud Satellite, as you can see, is a layer that can be deployed on top of an existing infrastructure. Let's say this is you as a client data center or infrastructure. If you have some, environment, then we can deploy IBM Cloud Satellite on top of it. We can also deploy it on top of a local cloud provider, say Idarat, Mobile, STC. So these local providers, they have infrastructure as a service, but in many cases they don't have all the platform services such as OpenShift and the Post, these services. So we can deploy it on top of them. If you don't want to use your data center, we can partner with them to provide an end-to-end experience. It can also be deployed on Azure, AWS, and Google. So what we're saying here is this is a hybrid cloud offering, meaning we provide this layer to do standardization and consolidation, of all your environments, whether your environment is on AWS or on-prem or whatever. So it's a kind of a distributed cloud offering, multi-cloud management. You have one single console and you're monitoring all your environments. And guess what? The most important thing is IBM is responsible for the SLAs on this platform. IBM is doing the upgrades, the updates, the fix packs, the security patches. It's a standard way across all environment, across all, public cloud or local cloud providers. Now, on top of this satellite, you can see that we can provide many services like OpenShift, Redis, Postgres, object storage, DevOps, continuous integration and delivery. And then on top of it also, we provide our IBM Cloud Pak stack. And by Cloud Pak stack, I mean, as I said, integration stack, the automation stack, the security stack, the monitoring stack, everything can be deployed. So you will have an as-a-service model in your on-prem. So the first thing is, yes, it is a full cloud experience, meaning you pay for what you consume. Still, we're talking about on-prem, and we're bringing the terminology of cloud, of public cloud, to your prem. So it's a public cloud consumption everywhere. It's a single user experience, meaning it's one console. You manage everything. You manage your satellite locations in all physical locations, whether on-prem or cloud or whatever. Then this is really important, the ownership. So when you work on something, you will be responsible for SLAs, and whether the regulator or your management, you will be accountable in front of them for the SLAs. If there is an outage, many customers pay penalties for the outage to the regulator. So what we're doing here, we're taking the ownership from you, meaning we're helping you be responsible for the SLAs. We're responsible to monitor the environment, to fix and patch the environment and harden the environment as if it is a public cloud provider. So we're taking this responsibility and we're taking this risk from you. And last but not least, in many cases, guys, we want to run the applications where it makes sense, in the location of your choice, meaning it doesn't, cloud is definitely a great thing, but not all the time the application makes sense to run it on cloud. So sometimes it makes sense to run it on-prem. Sometimes it makes sense to run it in a hybrid cloud, public cloud. So this is where we're providing the standardization and cloud native capabilities wherever you are or wherever your application is. We've talked about all of this. I'm gonna add two things here on this slide: compliance and regulation. Again, this is a very important topic. Like we've worked with banks and we've worked with other industries. Let's say in the banking sector, SAMA has a set of controls, that each bank or financial company needs to respect and satisfy. So we have, something called Security and Compliance Center, where we have all the controls and we implement, a process to check the environment continuously against these compliance and do the rectification needed to keep this environment compliant all the time. This is a very important feature that's available in this satellite offering. And last but not least, when you start your modernization journey, guys, when you start the containerization and microservices journey, the skill set is not, the skill set has a cost. The resources, the human resources, the employees are expensive. So what we're doing here, we're offloading a lot of tasks of maintenance operation from you. So this will reduce, on the cost of maintenance. Meaning if you need like in a 10 people, let's say in a traditional environment, you will need only 1 or 2 because everything is automated here. So we have multiple use cases on the cloud satellite. We've used it in the healthcare, sector with data and AI. We analyze the data and we give the doctors, the result of this based on the huge amount of data that's being generated by the different devices and the different machines and everything. So healthcare is one use case for cloud satellite. And of course, we have the banking sector and we have many other sectors, and we are known, and it is proven by Gartner, how is the distributed cloud and mainly satellite will be more and more important moving forward in the cloud strategy for all the customers. With that, I'm done with the cloud satellite part, and I will hand it over to Ala to present the VMware part. Ala, you can share your screen. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening.
Thank you, Ahmed. I'm going to share my screen. Just give me a second. All right. So as my colleague was saying, without reiterating the point, Why IBM Cloud? We are the most open, secure public cloud provider that tailored for businesses. We built our cloud services, as you saw, IBM Satellite, Power, and many other, the 200 catalog plus that mentioned by my colleague, for the businesses, not for the wide range of use cases. So we know the business need, and we tackle that from the architecture point of view and how we open it our cloud. The only thing I want to reiterate it here regarding VMware, that we are the number one when it comes to VMware public cloud user, with more than 2,000 clients that are already running in our platform. This is among all the other hyperscaler altogether. So we know when it comes to VMware solution, we know the VMware strength is with its own, let's say, partner, ecosystem partner, that across different use cases, either from security point of view or migration, business continuity or storages, or even platform modernization aspect. And the similar angle we have tackled it when we built our solution with VMware, where we partner with the most known, let's say, partner that's working with VMware when it comes to complete the ecosystem of the solution, such as when it comes for security and compliance, we have Entrust from data security, we have the application security platform from F5, we have the most well-known network security providers such as Fortinet and Juniper. When it comes to business continuity and migration aspect, we have Zerto, we have Veeam as backup solution. As well, when it comes to storages, let's say solution portfolio, we have the widest range of supported storage that run on NetApp, for example, and we have the support for NFS storage, vSAN storage, object storage, and block storage. So basically, the all storage type it's supported in our platform. And last but not least, from supported platform modernization angle, we have the widest and the broadest portfolio from server point of view that's certified to run SAP workload, Oracle workload, and even OpenShift workload. And last but not least, VMware Horizon, let's say, as a service. Now, if I zoom out and show you the global range that we have from the VMware landscape, we have, in summary, more than 18 availability zone running VMware with the 9 multi-zone as well region that spread across 60 plus data center in the globe with 19 countries. So it's mostly we cover every, let's say, spread or existence, as you can see from the screen, in North America or Europe or Australia as well. Now, when it comes what we offer as a VMware, we have two type, I would say, to start with, two type of offering. One, which is the client managed, let's say, VMware services, and the other one on the other spectrum is IBM managed. We manage the platform. Now, if I zoom into the client managed services, we have two different type of flavor. The first one is the vCenter services, which is basically a fully automated SDDC platform with vCenter, vSAN, and NSX all bundled together. This is the use cases for it is ideal for larger scale VMware cloud that has a need for elastic need. Now, from storage capability point of view, we can go up to 52 plus terabyte per node, which is very a lot. I mean, when it's comparing to the on-prem deployment, that's on the vSAN aspect, and even in the local disk. Now, from billing frequency, it is a monthly billing, and from deployment mode stand up, it can be goes between 4 to 8 hours, which is very fast. You know, building a fully SDT, let's say VMware platform within 4 to 8 hours is an amazing. Like if you want to do it in on-prem, it will take days, if not months. Now, from networking portfolio capability, we have on the server between 10 up to away to 25 gigabyte per second in each server. Now, on the configuration shapes, we have more than 100,000 deployable shapes on this service. Now, this is a full SDT platform. If a client, let's say, they don't want the full suite of VMware, like the vCenter and the NSXT and the vSAN and all that capability, I just only want a vSphere server and they want to manage it by themselves. We have this as well running either in what we call it a classic environment or in a VPC environment. Now, on the classic environment, it's ideal for a small VMware workload with fixed resources, uses better. Again, from storage capability point of view, we can go up to 70 terabyte per node. And we support both block and file storage type of backend, which is very amazing. Comparing to the other hyperscaler, this is a unique. Again, from the billing point of view, it's a monthly, and the deployment stand-up, it can take up to 4 hours to stand up a fully environment vSphere. From networking capability, it goes between 10 to 25 gigabyte per second per each host. And from configuration point of view, this is the largest VMware catalog supported from shape point of view. We have the different shapes on the server size that can support different use cases such as SAP, Oracle, and others. And the last one is VMware vSphere running on a VPC platform. VPC is our second or next generation of cloud that's have more feature and capabilities wide, such as the networking capability. It can goes up to 1,000 gigabit per second, which is a very huge as a feature, if I would say. Now, this is ideal for a client that who already invested in VMware Cloud Foundation and want to post it, let's say, to cloud, either for capacity increase or uses maybe our, that mentioned by my colleague, 200 plus catalog that we have in our cloud platform, such as data and AI and others. Now, from storage point of view, it goes up to 70 terabyte per node again, which both supporting block and files storage. Now, the beauty of this model, its billing frequency is hourly. So we don't commit it to you to pay it per monthly. It's based on hour. And the deployment can take up to 10 minutes to fully have a stand-up VMware vSphere server. Now, as I mentioned earlier, from networking capability, it supports 1,000 gig. But from T-shirt point of view, we picked it for the use cases because this is very unique for VMware Cloud Foundation use cases. So it's not like a wide range of T-shirt to support. Now, on the other spectrum of services that we offer from VMware, we have IBM managed services. So we managed the access of the platform itself, and we give you the ready-made environment to run your workload on it. It's either on a single tenant dedicated mode. So this is, although it is a VMware as a service, but for you, the platform that run that services is dedicated for the client, no shared with any other user, which we call it VMware as a service single tenant. The other use cases which is basically very unique economically is a VMware solution shared. It's a multi-tenant use cases, but it run in a multi-tenant model, like many users running on the same platform. Now, if I zoomed in on the VMware as a service single tenant, the use cases is ideal for a dedicated environment. Again, a user or a client want to have a managed services, but dedicated for compliance or security use cases or point of view. But they don't want to manage the infrastructure. They don't want the access to the API of the vSphere, the vCenter, and all of that. They don't want the hustle of the operation of that platform. This is the fit for that use cases. Now, from storage point of view, again, it support 1 gigabyte incremental. So you can increase the backend storage by 1 gigabyte as a granularity, which is a very unique. On the storage side, we both support vSAN backend and NFS backend storage. Now, from billing frequency, we can support monthly, or if you want to go with a commitment rate, you can get the highest discount if you go with 1 year commitment or 3 year commitment. Now, on the stand-up for this environment, it takes between 4 to 8 hours, which is very fast again. Now, on the network side, it supports up to 25 gigabyte per second with NSX backend fabric. The minimum stand-up for this configuration is 7 hosts. Now, if in the shared services, as I said, it's an ideal for a client who want to burst into the VM into the cloud, tap into the cloud, which is basically migrate as is. They don't want to reinvent the wheel. Let's say replatforming the current workload that's running on-prem, but they want to move into the cloud to start modernizing, to start innovation, to start using the innovative solution that the cloud provider has in our IBM cloud, like the data and AI and other, but they want the least, let's say, secured way to move to the cloud. This is the ideal use cases to start in moving to the cloud journey. Again, this is supported from storage angle with 1 GB storage incremental that's supported in the background, vSAN and NFS. In the billing angle, it's a monthly reserved or could be hourly if you go with. And stand up this environment is very instant. You just go to the catalog of IBM, request it, and in the second you can have a fully stand up environment that you can run any virtual machine type in it. Now, from networking capability, it goes up to 25 gig. And from the t-shirt of the CPUs and VRAM, we have the widest range of vCPU and RAM as well. Now, if I want to zoom more into the IBM managed services, this is a unique services, the IBM, that's a single tenant one, especially because this is something that you maybe rarely find it in a different cloud provider that support a single tenant, but in a managed way. This is our uniqueness. As I said, it's a very rapid to stand up this environment. Again, it's ideal for customer who need to have a tap into the cloud, but they don't want to worry about managing the platform or batching it or upgrading and all of that. This is lifted with the hyperscaler. And from capability point of view, we have, as I mentioned earlier, either monthly payment, or if you want to have a commitment on the usage, we can give you a very aggressive discount that if goes if you 1 year or 3 year. And from background to storage, it is vSAN supported and NFS supported, which is very as well unique. Now, again, maybe you may ask, okay, why do customer goes to VMware Cloud? Why not the other? So you can find here more snapshots of our existing client who said, let's say, wonderful about our platform. Like BNP said, you have the best of all worlds between the cost and the speed benefit and the high security on the IBM Cloud. Honeywell said, the virtualized solution on the IBM Cloud is a game changer, not only from our customer, but also across the industry. So in a summary, why customer choosing our platform? Because we can run different wide of mission critical architecture and regulated workloads such as AB, VMware, Oracle, you name it. We have the widest range of portfolio from server instance and shape that supported any workload type. And of course, with the secure infrastructure, we have the end-to-end protection engineered in those infrastructure. We, as I mentioned earlier, when we build the infrastructure, we build it with the enterprise mindset. We know your need, and this is how we built it from the ground up with the security in mind. So even us as an operation or IBM, we don't see your data that you moved it in the cloud. And last but not least, from cost point of view, it's the most cost-effective VMware platform in the market, which I will show you next. Here is a study comparison between us as an IBM Cloud and the other major competitor that run VMware as a service. As you can see, we scored the lowest cost here among the competitor when it comes with different shape between the smallest shape, let's say 9 up to 140. And why is that? The reason for this, because we don't charge as other competitor between the regions. As you saw, we have the VMware solution across the globe. And if you build it one VMware, let's say, platform in one region and another in a different region, we don't charge you for the data between the two regions. It goes through our backbone free of charge. The other feature, we supported up to 500 gigabyte per second for a public bandwidth, which is a very unique per server. This is how it come from the first to go. And of course, the full vSphere and vCenter API access. This is for a dedicated or the offer that we give for a client-managed infrastructure. We gave a full vSphere and vCenter access, so you have the same look and feel from operation point of view that you used to do on-prem, but on the cloud. The only thing is this is shifted to the cloud that help you to tap into the journey and start journey of the cloud modernization. And the most important thing, we have the largest selection of hardware configuration among other cloud providers that supported different use cases such as SAP and Oracle, and the widest choice between the core and memory combination between 112 cores and 6 terabyte of RAM, which is a lot per host. This is per host. So lastly, according to Forrester, who an independent researcher and analyst who interviewed our customer, they say that, and they concluded that IBM Cloud for VMware solution has the following 3-year financial impact when it comes to run VMware on IBM Cloud. It has a 3-time efficient when it comes to ROI. It increased the productivity of the developer and operation by 40% among the others provider, because we take the ownership of the platform. We give you the different widest range of choice to build. So you have every use cases you want to build it, we have it as a choice. And lastly, but not least, from data center cost point of view, it down it by 40%, because if you want to do a data center exit strategy, you have the use cases that you need in our IBM Cloud offer for VMware. So lastly, this is a snapshot. Not, as I mentioned earlier, we have more than 2,000 users or client running VMware solution IBM Cloud, but this is like a unique snapshot to show you how wide, from industry point of view, we have a client running in IBM Cloud between airline or health sectors or technologies, and you name it. You will find whatever industry a client for VMware running in our platform. So with that, I concluded the VMware presentation. I'll hand it over to my colleague, Kamran, to speak about the Expert Lab.
Thank you, Ala. Thank you, Ahmed, earlier, and thank you, the Resemble team. Really appreciate your time, and it's amazing and wonderful to see that we have such amazing services and solutions that can help the clients move on their cloud journey and are also able to make the most out of it. So once again, welcome everyone. This is Kamran Shaheen. I'm the sales leader for Middle East and Africa for Cloud Expert Labs. And we are here today to discuss and also to show you that what IBM Technology Cloud Services or Expert Labs can do for you. So in the name itself, what is Cloud Expert Labs? The slide that you can see as of now basically explains how cloud services are categorized. And in terms of the name, IBM Cloud Expert Labs are a professional services team that help you to accelerate your IBM Cloud adoption and consumption. Now, this term really helps, and if we dive down a little bit into it further, it actually helps understand that we are not just here to deliver services. Well, we are in reality, but at the same time, we are here to help you adopt and also to help you consume what is exactly required within your environment, whether it is with the use of the technical skills. If you are looking for a proven approach, are you looking to accelerate your adoption? Are you looking to have ready use cases? This is where the Expert Labs team can be of a great value to all the solutions that our cloud team has shown to you earlier. Now, coming back to this slide, we have a starting point use cases, which is focusing on key business challenges and also provides a proven approach to address. Let's say we are looking at the regulated cloud service, we are looking at the platform adoption service, we are looking at the practice area of cloud native and infrastructure management. So we have divided our services or practice areas into 4 categories. And under those 4 categories, we have certain use cases that we have deployed and have a lot of experience and expertise behind it. Whether it would be, let's say, there are a lot of them, so let me highlight a few. Let's say we are looking at security and compliance. We are looking at zero trust key management as a service. We are looking at high performance computation for regulated workloads. Well, you might be looking at the migration in platform adoption. You might be looking at the VMware workloads to IBM Cloud. You might also be looking at, as my colleague had mentioned, about the Power VS, the Power Virtual Server service. So there are services and use cases that we have the expertise and the bandwidth, not only to support you and do the implementation, but also at the same time to help improve your internal knowledge base as well about the solution and how the adoption can benefit. so that your team is able to fast pace the delivery themselves if they require at a later stage. So if you're looking at cloud native, we might be able to give you how do you want to modernize your applications for cloud? What are the steps required? How do we re-architect them? How do we resize them? And what are the challenges you would be facing if you move that application to cloud? What are the best practices in DevSecOps in terms of coding? If you require help, we have a special boot camp for cloud native, where you learn from our programmers and coders the best practices in the market. We are also able to support you with a year-long subscription that can help you across the regulated cloud platform adoption, cloud native, or infrastructure management. So we are basically adding the value by being part of your team. So we always focus on a starting point. Where would you like to be at after a certain designated area or designated time? What are the business challenges? What are you looking to address? We will be able to focus on that area step by step and even guide and take your team alongside us. Next slide, please. Now, this particular slide is a journey itself, and can be explained. And these building blocks are addressing the requirements in such a unique way that we have not made it mandatory that you need all of this from us. Maybe what we could do is we could work with your team to help discover, assess, and architect. And maybe what happens for the build and migrate and manage part your team can do yourself. If you want IBM to help you at each and every step, we have that option available as well. Whether you're looking at VMware migration, whether you're looking at Power VS, and whether you're looking at security and compliance, which I assume is something really important for your market, given the data breaches and the way the system and the way the world is now focusing on Saudi Arabia. So we can be addressed, or our services can be accessed in any of these blocks. And we will be able to help you, guide you, either to deliver that or to help your team deliver it so that your future implementations and future services are able and your team is capable of doing it. Next slide, please. Now, one of the most important slides that I would like you to focus on in terms of the services, this we discussed in the use cases that we have in the previous slides. But over here, we are giving a bit of a brief that exactly what does security and compliance do for you. So in this particular slide, we can say that basically the cloud security and compliance is basically a growing trend for enterprise security, where it will help you on your journey across clouds and tools that you're using. So let's say, as of now, if we look at some of the statistical data, we look at 90% of enterprise today have hybrid cloud models. And we are looking at banks, and we are looking at other clients who are related to financial services in some way or the other, and also in terms of data, in data requirements, they are looking to consolidate and are looking for a tool that can help them comply with the local regulations and compliance. So when we say that, we can very easily say that, okay, so how do we do that? What are we looking at? Well, you might be looking at managing your permissions and configurations. You might be looking at consolidation of tools and automation. You might be looking at protecting your workload. You might be looking at prioritizing risks and vulnerabilities. This is exactly where security and compliance comes in and helps you be consistent across your hybrid multi-cloud. This is what the beauty about Expert Labs is. We are able to help you define, implement, and assess across your hybrid multi-cloud, across the areas of focus, whether it is compliance and risk posture, whether it is workload protection, whether it is automation and integration, whether threat detection and data protection. Which means if you are on IBM Cloud, if you're using IBM Cloud Satellite, which my colleague very rightly mentioned, if you're looking at AWS, if you have your workloads in Azure, Google Cloud, or on-premise, our security and compliance center can help you secure that and can help you have a regular, almost real-time assessment and compliance of security across the board and across your compliance and risk posture, your compliance and security posture. It can help you. It can help you. What do you say? It can basically help you decide and define on the next steps. If you, and this is where Expert Labs can come in and help. We can help you assess, and we can help you gather the information. We can then, as a second exercise, we can help you build and remediate what we have gathered within your environment. Then we talk about Power VS. Now, my colleague had mentioned about the solution that can be offered from IBM on Power VS. Now, this is an exercise where we will be able to help you understand whether you're looking at cost reduction, you're looking for an OPEX model, you're looking for, let's say, a DR, a high availability, plus you're looking for modernization of your application to move to the Power VS with a combination of on-prem and cloud. We are able to help you as Expert Labs, not only architect and build, but also help you migrate. In the design thinking workshop, now this is one of the key features that can be utilized by your organization. Well, if you want to move to the cloud, fair enough. What do you want to do? What are the steps required? What are the business challenges? What are the key areas that you need to define? This is where the Expert Labs experience, the Cloud Expert Labs team's experience comes into play. And we will help you define the pain areas, brainstorm solutions, help you with the architecture, that how it is going to look, how it's going to be delivered, what are the steps required, what are your teams required to do, what is your environment required, how is that going to be upgraded and updated. All of that can be done within this workshop. And this is a standalone workshop in itself. And it is a paid exercise, and we can help you on your cloud journey, whether you're a new tenant for cloud, or you are an experienced and a mature tenant for cloud. Either way, we'll be able to take this forward with you and your team and also help and guide them. Yes, so keeping the time in mind, this is all from the Expert Labs team's part. Over to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamran, for a wonderful presentation. Thanks to Ahmed Sibai for initially talking about the Power Virtual Server, Cloud Satellite, and then Ala for VMware on IBM Cloud, and so on.
Hoping that it was a very interesting session to our attendee, and they take an advantages and they see something new they did not know, even if they don't have any questions. So it's like an eye-opening to them. I hope so. It was.
So once again, I'd like to thank you, Ala, Kamran, Ahmed Sibai, Harinad, for putting up this webinar, and really looking forward to working with all of you. And thank you all for joining once again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, team. And thank you all for attending. It was our pleasure to present our IBM Cloud to you.
Thank you, Allah. Thank you, Kamran. Thank you, Sibai. So much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure.